Welcome, Sonali. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you on my show. And, Sonali is someone who has worked with me in the past. She's one of my past clients. But more than that, over time, we worked on a few projects together. She's been helping me and supporting me in some of my other projects on the marketing side. So much beyond, a typical client. I am so excited to have Shonali in my life, and there's so much she has to offer. And yeah, I'm honored that you're here today to share your story.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share my story with all the viewers and to give me this chance to, I can share my story of transformation over the last 2.5 years that I've
Yeah,
known.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, yes. So yeah, I think we started working in July 2023.
23.
23. So yeah, more than 2.5 years, and we've been in touch since then, of course. So actually, let's go back at the beginning. And this is what I like to ask all my clients is that when you think back to your life before the transformation, when you actually started, and I call healing a journey, it is a journey, and it's not a destination that you reach. It's a journey that you're on for your life. How would you describe that season in just a sentence?
Your sentence would not suffice, but I'll try to. Um, yes, it was painful. I mean, if I have to think about what my life was before the transformation, um, I think I was broken. Just two words, broken and burnt out, I think. It actually pains me to even think how was I even surviving? I was just this living, breathing being back then. And everything was just falling apart. For me to keep my life together, not just for myself, but for the relationships around me, was just getting so difficult. I was sapped, stuck. And, I mean, I'm running short of all the negative adjectives, but it was as bad as that. And I don't think there was any fuel left in my body. I was just pushing my body through, showing up every day for everyone and showing up too much of myself for everyone every day. And I was just in fumes, actually. I don't think there was any fuel left in my by the time I'd come to you.
By that time. And I remember you mentioned at some point, either in our sessions or in conversations that we've had, that you once described feeling like an empty cup. And that's actually a lot of women can relate to that. You're not the only one, of course, because we give so much of ourselves to others. We give and we give and we give, and we conditioned to do that. So if we can flip that around, what did filling your cup again look like for you, actually look like when you started filling your cup?
Life, see, when this roller coaster ride with all my symptoms and my health issues started, um, uh, I don't think I had any joy left in my life because obviously, when your body is sapped of energy, you're not making plans. A 35-year-old woman would not, be irritable, complaining, repetitive about her health issues, and no one didn't want to even listen to me because I was so repetitive, and there was just no joy in life. Um, which meant that it affected all my relationships, apart from my own relationship. What I started adding to my life, number one was joy, and secondly, a lot of fuel that would add, keep me through the day, give me steady and stable energy through the day, because that was what was lacking completely. This takes me back. I think the year I started working with Anandita was the year I had shifted to Bombay.
Yeah.
I think a year later, a year later, I shifted to Bombay, and I remember I couldn't even go through like the first quarter of the day. I would make, my daughter's two-course meal for her lunch box, and I would be sapped of energy. It almost felt like I'd waged a war, and I'm back. And I would look at other women; they're all hustling, packing their lunch boxes, going to work and coming back, gymming, yoga, and here I'm at home and I'm not able to do even go through 1/4 of the day. And Yeah, this was just how it was. However, once I had been through this whole transformation journey, I was able to do so much more. There was much more joy. I was able, forget about myself, I was able to add joy to other people's lives, people around me, my daughter, my family.
That's that's such a beautiful thing that you shared, that it when we start healing ourselves, it goes so much beyond ourselves, beyond us. And actually what you hit was the reason I work with women. I mean, I anyways work with women with primarily autoimmune conditions, but other existing conditions. And this is the reason why, because the woman, and I was writing about it actually recently in an article or maybe a poem, because I've been writing some poems now, that the women carry the emotional, burden for the entire family. So I think some of the things that you mentioned was just not the physical food, but also other nourishment that like we women need to keep going. It's not just the lack of so like how I say, it's not just the lack of B12 and vitamin D and all. It's also the joy. You mentioned joy a few times. I think we completely missed that. Vitamin J, right? Joy, vitamin L, love, pleasure. So these things we miss out on. We focus on the diet, we focus on the supplements, and I keep coming back to it in all my podcasts, because I think it's such a big part of a woman's emotional, mental, and physical health, that we do such a big disservice if we, completely ignore that. So I think that's something that you shared so beautifully, how it can shift when you pay attention to all of it. It's soul food and, like proper food, etc. So of course, I remember this, but still wanted to check with you, what gave you the confidence to say yes to starting this journey? Because as you said, you were burnt out, you were overwhelmed, it was like that. So what sort of made you say yes? Because obviously when somebody starts on something like this, they don't know what's going to happen, right? So what made you say yes? I mean, what gave you the confidence that this time might be different, do you think?
I think the pain of staying where I was exceeded the pain of thinking that I have to change. Because a lot of people, when they hop onto the, I mean, if you ask them to hop onto the wellness bandwagon, the first thought that comes to their mind will be, I cannot eat my bhajiyas, I can't have my parathas, and I can't have ice cream, I can't have desserts, and the list goes on. But I was not that person, thankfully. I was I was sure that I'm ready to eliminate foods that were causing a ruckus, to my body. I was sure that I wanted everlasting change and I wanted to feel better. How can I keep functioning like this when, let me give you an example. Through my moon cycle, I would feel good, moderately good, like 10 days of the month. The rest of the 20 days were just terrible. So it was like this, like the crest and the trough of that graph. I was exactly like that. And a 30-odd-year-old woman shouldn't ideally be feeling like that. I mean, you should be vibrant, motivated, full of energy. So I think I think that pain of staying where I was, I couldn't withstand any more of that, and I wanted to make that shift and that change, and I had to, at least not. I mean, I wasn't living a life, a complete life. I mean, what sort of a life was that? I mean, not motivated on some days. I mean, that's not the
Yeah,
way,
no, I
a lady, a woman functions. And I wasn't able to show up for my daughter. Um, so sometimes I had left my job, I'd left my career, everything just for my daughter. And while I was physically present for her, I wasn't even mentally, emotionally present for her at all. And let me tell you that that had repercussions on her own mental health, on our relationship as a mother, and my relationship with my spouse. Everything got affected. A whole lot of relationships, because there was just no clarity of mind, no clarity of thinking. So things had to shift, things had to change, and I was looking for answers. And I was always ready, but it's just that, of course, they say the teacher appears when the student is ready. I was always ready, but I think I was looking at the wrong places, and I wasn't looking at the right place. And I think God guided me to you, and it was Providence's wish to, I think, meet someone like you who transformed my life.
So that's such a, again, so it really warms my heart to hear this. I think there's a few things that you mentioned here so well, that, when the pain of staying the same is more than the pain of change. And you're absolutely right. And I don't blame anyone because, it's just easy to look at the things we have to give up. Like, I have to give up this and I have to give up that. I think the shift happens when you realize how much you are getting and not how much you're giving up, right? It's actually not about giving up at all. I mean, you don't miss those things because you feel so much better that you stop missing those things. And they were a part of your past life and now you've moved on, right? So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of this kind of an internal shift. You're not the same person you were before. So you don't miss those things to that extent. I mean, yes, they might come back from time to time, but honestly, I've found with my own personal experience that if you don't make space for something new, then they usually don't show up. So the other way to look at it is that you're making space, for better things to show up. I mean, that's true actually, whether it's energetically or physically. And yeah, in relationships, absolutely. We underestimate the importance of our mental and emotional health, which has an impact on not just because we focus so much on physical health, we forget about our relationships, and not just relationship with others, but relationship with ourselves. And if we are just surviving, you're absolutely right. That's no way to live. That's not what you were here for, or you or I am here for. We have so much to offer, and yet here we are living each day, And honestly, Shonali, there will be obviously times in your life and in mine and everyone else's who's watching this or listening that there will be crisis, and then you're actually in survival mode, right? And then you're actually living from day to day. But the rest of the time, you're not. So when you're in survival mode, that's a different thing. But at least for the rest of your life, you need to figure out how to thrive. And that's what I think you've done so beautifully, put in because without your commitment, without your effort, obviously, I mean, I can only guide you, but unless you put in the effort and the commitment, it doesn't really work. So that's something that you saw the benefit of, and it will work for everyone. I mean, if
Yes.
we start supporting ourselves. So, if we look back and I mean, what I've realized is that we talk so much about our symptoms, we talk about our disease, but that's not what I want our conversations to go. And that's why I'm not focusing so much on what disease and, diagnosis, etc. That, there's enough about that. But I know that, we've discussed where our body is trying to teach us something or, send a message to us through our symptoms or some other feeling. And if you only know how to listen, which most of us don't. So I think when you started to listen, so what surprised you most, do you think, about what your body was trying to teach you or tell you through your symptoms or about your symptoms or about your health issue?
Okay, so when I joined the body-wise healing framework, I think it was handheld for this first 6 months. So actually, I probably would have become a little wise, but I think post that, I've just been growing wiser and wiser by the day, because then I don't have someone to handhold me. But my mentor, my teacher, she's given me all the tools and my toolkit and a blueprint. I have it ready with me. So whenever there's a symptom that, or there's a flare, or some sort of a random symptom, I go back to all that she's taught me. She has asked me to check in with yourself. So let's say, to give you an example, bloating. So what have I eaten? I would check in for that. That's the most common thing. Secondly, have I been under stress? Have I moved enough? Have I breathed? So these are not, have I gone in the sunlight? These are not things that are often told. The first thing, you're bloated. I'm sure you've had some dal or you've had some, very difficult to digest legumes, but that's not, or you've had a lot of salads. No. So I always do this check-in. I still remember you had shown me this very complex looking food web looking flow chart, which which is actually not complex, and you helped me to understand that if one is feeling a certain way, let's say thyroid, or let's say bloating, let's say constipation, then it could be so many other things apart from just food. It could be lack of stepping out of home, not adding joy or pleasure, not slowing down. That's something no one tells you. I mean, when you, I mean, you go to a healthcare practitioner for thyroid, he's going to tell you have, or let's say an Ayurvedic practitioner, have jeera sof ajwain ka pani. or have add Brazil nuts, a very other healthcare, another next level healthcare practitioner going to tell you add Brazil nuts. But no one tells you to slow down. No one tells you to pause. No one tells you to catch a little sunlight, to move a little more. No one asks you to be soft with yourself. So I think I just got wiser. So while I was on the 6 months framework, I think I was handheld way too much to even listen to myself. So I would just come back and tell Anandita, this is what I'm feeling, and I'm again flared up, and I've had this again bout of IBS or constipation or whatever, and she would always. I remember doing the second session with her, the second follow up with her, and she would. That's when she brought to light that it could be something else going on in your life. There's something that you're disappointed about. I read this very nice thing. The body manifests what the mind cannot digest.
Oh,
And that
lovely.
is exactly what had happened to me when I came for your second follow up. It took me a while to understand. So, again, when I went for my second follow up, she helped me, and she helped me deal with the rest of the healing journey with a lot of supportive supplements, and also helping me understand what's going wrong. Now, your health coach doesn't know what's happening the rest of your life. So she kept asking me, there's something that's shifted, something changed drastically. I had changed homes. I was probably not very happy with where I was. Um, my job, I wasn't very happy with that profile. So we sort of bundle up all of that. We think it's there in our mind. And while I was journaling, it's still there. It's still mulching, and I'm still ruminating, and all of that uh, garbage. It's just not coming out. And some it has to get digested, some it all goes and gets stuck in your gut. So I have understood this whole framework, and that complex food web looking flow chart. I still have it with me. It's so valuable because when you understand, your health coach will not be able to pinpoint what's exactly going on, but she can at least support you with these tools. I think all this is missing from your life, and yes, it was missing. And today when I go through some of these bouts of bloating or IBS, I have those tools ready with me, and I have this checklist. So, okay, have I moved enough? Have I been hydrated? Is there been a lot of stress? Has my response to stress not been ideal like it should have been? So I go through that checklist, or have I added more probiotics? So all of them, if it's all crossed, then I'll have to start working on it. So it's not that, it's like what you said, health is never a linear curve. There are always bumps. So sometimes I go back to ground zero, and again I have to start. Sometimes we tend to forget. We take things for granted. Oh, I'm stable. Everything's fine. And then you suddenly start, without even realizing, because there's a lot of background stress happening. There's environmental stress, toxins, and of course the things of daily life that pile on, and we don't realize that, we don't let it go, and the body just holds on. The body keeps a score of it, and I can tell you that. I can just tell you. I'm a classic example of that.
And what you shared is so true. And what you ended with, the body keeps score, and most of us are not even aware of it. I think what you said first 6 months obviously was about learning and about figuring this out. But I think that after that, you've embodied that wisdom that you kept talking about. And as you were talking, and I was thinking, oh my God, the framework that I had put out over years of working with women. Now, I mean, I knew, of course, it was working because I've been doing it for a while. But as you were speaking, I could see that the pieces have actually fallen into place. It's so amazing when you were talking that, it's something that I have put my heart and soul into, and of course, learned so much from my clients. And that's how it's all come into place. And of course, my own personal experiences as well. But as you were talking, I was like, okay, it works, and it works so beautifully. So
It does work. It does work.
so, I mean, again, as human beings, we tend to sometimes get, bogged down in the details. So I know, of course, it works, and that's how we are here today. We are talking about it. But as you were saying, I was like, yes, exactly. This is how it works. It's about embodied wisdom. It's about being in your body. And women, especially, we need to be aware of what's going on in our body. And actually, even for men, it's not only for women, of course, because we're living neck up. We don't really live in our bodies, and that mind body that we talk so much about. People talk about mind body, they have no clue what it means.
Yeah.
right? So, how much it is affecting our gut health. And I think Ayurveda has talked about it for thousands of years. So has traditional Chinese medicine, but it has to percolate down to our day-to-day life, right? I mean, talking about it theoretically is very nice to hear, but what you have shared is how we apply it in our lives. Like, how do we, and it's, and again, one, I think, very important thing that you pointed out, a lot of our issues, can be sorted out so simply, right? It's not easy. I'm not saying everything is easy. It's never easy, but it can be quite simple, right? That check in with yourself, that slowing down, that maybe an extra hour of sleep, a bit of pausing, a bit of self care. And self care is not about going to the spa or etc. This is self care, what you just mentioned, right? So some of these things, chewing mindfully, like basic things that we, again overlook, and by just doing this, I mean, we can see so much of difference. I mean, we just had a 3-month program where, I had a client and I was trying out a different kind of program. It was nothing to do with diet and nothing to do with supplements, pure coaching, but with autoimmune conditions. So this client has psoriasis, and then mother of a newborn child, and with a younger, another young child. So already there's so much of stress, and just by what you just shared, just by doing some of these things, no diet and no supplement. In the sense, diet was there, the support was there in terms of, say, adding more vegetables, but not very, very, what should I say, because the program was such that it was not meant to be 100% personalized. But yes, focusing on the phytonutrients, focusing on organic, unprocessed food. So all those guidance was there. And just by doing these basic things in 3 months, she saw such a huge improvement. I mean, every time I work with somebody, I still get amazed by how resilient our body is. If only we supported the proper way, right? So that is amazing. So, anything else that you want to add?
It's just to add to that, the wellness industry is fixated on only food. Unfortunately, this holistic well-being is goes way beyond just food and supplements.
And exercise.
Oh yes, exercise. The industry is again doing a little too much on exercise, but it's more than that. And I think our lives today are just so much of hustle. Everybody's so stressed. I think that element needs to be focused on. Also, everyone's just doing so much more. What else can I add? Okay. This seed is good for my hair. I'll add that also to my smoothie. This is
Moringa. I like
add,
moringa also. I like lemongrass also.
right?
I like
Oh,
wheatgrass.
yes. Oh, yes. Okay, that reminds. Yeah, actually, so the black sesame is good. Okay, why should I just stick to the white sesame seeds and this and that and just go on? It's not about adding so much more to your plate rather than just deleting and eliminating and subtracting things from your, you know, things that you're adding. It can be very simple meals. It can be colorful. Um, but at the same time bring joy to your soul, nourish your soul as well.
As well.
And when you say colorful, it need not be eating like a bucket full of red and yellow peppers just because it's going to. It should even nourish your soul as well.
Yes, I think what you're saying is something that good that we're talking about this, that we have complicated wellness so much. That's the reason I came up with the tagline. I mean, recently, simplify wellness, amplify life. I mean, seriously, we need to uncomplicate wellness. It's become like a second job. It's almost like you have another job that you have to take care of, where you're doing spin cycling, where you're doing weightlifting, where you're doing this also, where you're doing that also. And as you said, foods, and then you're taking 30 supplements. It's not about this, right? It's about figuring out actually what your body needs. And it can be very, very simple. As again, simple doesn't always mean easy. I'm not even ever saying that, it's always easy to do these things. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. And there was very interesting example somebody had given. I think he's one of the people that I, listen. Um, his name is, I'm just digressing a bit, but I think it's relevant. Jim Rohn. He's an American capitalist and spiritual, not spiritual, but guru, productivity and business. But I love his mindset, and he's passed away now, but he's very well known, and he has these amazing talks. Okay, so I listen to it when I need a pep talk from time to time, and like no crap, kind of a pep talk where, like, it's, you need it sometimes, right? Even I need it as a coach. So he's like my coach kind of a thing, or mentor or whatever. So I listened to him, and I remember what he said is that, like he was not doing very well in his 20s, and he was like broke, and he had a family, and he was struggling, and then he did certain things. I'm not going to get into it, and he did certain things and became very successful. And he found a mentor who helped him, right? And then he became quite successful. And then somebody asked him much later that how come, what did you do? And he said, oh, I did these simple things. And like very simple things, like I changed my mindset, and I looked at the positive things and whatever, gratitude, and stopped complaining about, other things. So very simple things. And then that guy, so then why don't other people do it? Because he said that it's also, he said, they're very easy things I did, simple things I did, but it's also easy not to do it.
Right.
It's as easy to do it, or as easy or simple if it is. It may not always be easy, but it's also simple not to do these things. I mean, it's very easy not to take that 5-minute break. It's easy not to move your body. And moving your body doesn't mean going to the gym for an hour. It's easy not to, chew mindfully. So it's easy not to do these things. So they so it's both. I still remember that. So anyway, so that's what I thought I'll share. It's cut both ways. And you're right, it's about editing actually a lot of it. It's about removing the things that are not serving us, right? Because what was serving us 5 years back need
Yeah.
not, or even 1 year back, may not be serving us today, but we have no idea because we are trying everything, right? So rather than trying everything, I think knowing what to focus on is also very important. And it's going to take some time. And I think that's what you found out after our 6 months together also. Because 6 months you were learning also. I mean, and it's, we all learn, and I think we have to keep on learning throughout our lifetime what's going to work because the body is shifting. So, and I think there's something else you had shared, not today, but I wanted to sort of, a couple of things I wanted to check with you before we end. Um, this you had said sometime back that most women value themselves only in guilt. You had said this sometime back, not now. It was quite a powerful insight, so it stayed with me. So, what does it look like now? I mean, if you think this still applies, or any thoughts that you want to share, because I think guilt is such a big part of so many women, right? I wanted to actually just touch upon this as well.
So, yeah, post the body wise framework. I mean, I'm stressing on that because I am a completely different person post that. I think stronger woman. Because I've molded and I've shed these layers where I fear that I'll be judged because I'm not able to provide X, Y, Z for my family. I'm done with living in that guilt. Today, for me, my physical energy, my mental energy is more sacred than anything else. And putting that extra dish on that table, even if someone likes it in my family, today I'm not able to do that. I'm not able to show up, and I'm not going to live in that guilt because there are two little children who need my energy, who need my time. That is much more sacred than me doing that extra thing or going that extra mile for the family. I'm always there. I can always do that on some other day. So I've just done. It's taken me a long, long time. It was never easy. I still do operate at times out of that. There are days that I do that out of guilt. I push myself to do that extra thing, and let me tell you, by the end of the day, I'm sapped. And it's not just that day. 2 days after that, I will still be sapped of energy because I hadn't given my body rest. This happened very recently around Diwali. I wasn't up to it. I wasn't up to making those sweets like I regularly make for every Diwali. I was just, and I pushed my body to do that. And when my body gave up in the next 2 to 3 days, I was and gave up. Everything happens in my guts. My gut gave up. I couldn't digest anything. I was bloated and I was irritable. I was inflamed, in short, I was inflamed. I was angry and irritable because I didn't listen to my body. I was operating out of guilt. How can I not make everyone's making something? How can I not be making? So, like I said, I do that on some days. I have that willpower that no, I need my energy is sacred to me, and I'm not going to cross that line. But some days, yes, I do. When we are women, that's how we operate. We operate on a lot of how productive I was today. That's how it is.
No, and So again, that's why I asked this question, because it's most women who deal with this, especially. I mean, you may be a mother or not. Somebody may not be a mother, but still we operate from this, and such a beautiful example of that. And we tend to do it. I mean, we are human beings. Even after knowing that, I tend to do it. So we will have those things, but we get better at stopping ourselves, and we get better with practice. It's true for anything that we do, really. And it's setting boundaries. I mean, slowly. I mean, I didn't even know there was something called setting boundaries till some time back, right? So this is not something, and it's all kinds of boundaries. So this was a superb example of one of those boundaries, um, and I know that you have two, small children in your life now, and that's an amazing story. If you want to share anything about that, and also if your past self could see you to, I mean, could see you today, what would you like to tell her? So, like, if you could see yourself.
When you're asking me that question, the lump in my throat as I even now. I would just tell her that just you should have been softer with yourself and be more compassionate to yourself and not listen to everyone around you. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think I was compassionate and soft with myself, and it all just showed up over the years. And I still, I mean, just to tell you what you had once told me, I mean, it almost felt like I was a lion or a tiger was chasing me every day. And I lived that way for donkey's years. I can even talk about a few months ago. That's just how it's been with me. And it's just become my DNA and blueprint, unfortunately, that always being, always feeling like, living on the edge. And that can be very, very difficult for your body. And I just lost all, the juiciness of, my younger years. They were all just snatched away under responsibilities, guilt, um, remorse of not showing up. And everyone around you is ready to make you feel that way. That's another story otherwise. So I would just tell her that just be kind and compassionate to yourself.
Yes. And that's such a powerful message, Sonali. And I think you're setting such a great example for both your daughters, because I know you have two daughters, two little girls. One is very small, but especially for the older one, and even as the second one, both the girls start growing up. I think as women, we need to set that example. I mean, no matter how much we may say, whatever we may say, our children pick up from how we are living our lives. Like, I have been very clear with my daughter, and I've tried my best. Of course, we can only try our best. We are not perfect parents, and I never tried to be. But I think, the way you have sort of shaped and, changed and transformed, as you call it, and such an amazing journey. And I'm so honored to have been part of that journey. And I know that, and I can see that, in your voice and when you are speaking, that you are setting that example for your children. So those girls will grow up and, have their own family. So this is how we create a beautiful ripple effect in the world, like a positive effect in the world. So I think that was a very powerful message. So self-compassion. I think more of us need to teach our children. I mean, and for boys as well. I'm not just singling out girls, but girls have this more than the guilt and things we take up more than boys. And the last question would be for someone listening who feels stuck and uncertain, like who's just getting started or, sort of stuck, in some place, or has just got a diagnosis, or maybe just looking for a diagnosis, or, it can be anything for that matter. What would you tell them about finding hope and taking their first step?
Mm. So there is hope always. I mean, every symptom, every diagnosis has a solution, at least in modern science. But it depends where you're looking. Like I was looking in the wrong places, and hence I didn't find it on the bad type. But there are healthcare practitioners. Functional medicine is a time-tested, I think, offshoot of mainstream medicine. And there are a whole lot of practitioners like Anandita in India, and she's, of course, one of the first functional medicine practitioners. I've had the privilege to work with one of the first. So This is a foolproof method to get your diagnosis, at least um, put your life back together. When I say put your life back together, get your symptoms down, get a diagnosis, alleviate your symptoms, whatever you're struggling with. So there is hope. So there, I mean, it depends on where, again, where you're looking for. Functional medicine is where you should be looking ideally. Um, and the program with Anandita is very holistic again. It's just not only about food, it's just not about the body, it's even about the mind and soul. And yeah, so again, it's for one must be ready to bring about that change also, to accept that it will need consistency and discipline. So whatever you start off on will need consistency and discipline. So even if you say, "Oh, I'm with a functional medicine healthcare practitioner," and the rest of the time you're binging on ice creams and donuts will not help, or you're very stressed will not help. Um, so change must, I mean, to have sustainable change, then one must have consistency and discipline. That's how it's worked for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So consistency, discipline, but and also where it started is you took responsibility for your health. I think that's something that we often outsource to experts because we're so used to doing them. So it's, that's how the system works. And what you said about functional medicine, it's again not about whether you should be taking medications or whether we should be going for treatments or meeting doctors. A lot of people get that idea that it should be, I can only do Ayurveda or naturopathy or this, or I can do this. A lot of times it's actually a combination that works best. Because a lot of times we do need medication. We do need to, obviously, we need to go to an expert and get a diagnosis or some treatment. But what you're saying is what gets left behind are some of these foundational practices, the mind body aspect of it. We are finally, beings. We are not organs. We are not made up of discrete body parts or organs. We have a whole person. So that's what we look at in functional medicine. Thank you for sharing that, your perspective. It was, really nice to hear from you. What I mean, I'm a practitioner and coach, so I keep talking about it, but it's really amazing to hear your take on functional medicine. You're right, it's about addressing and finding and addressing the root cause of disease, but the mind body aspect, the personalization aspect, participatory aspect, taking responsibility is about participation. You can't be a passive recipient. It doesn't work because as you said, you have to be consistent, you have to be disciplined, which means that you have to do the work. I can only guide you. Like I could have only guided you. Finally, you were doing the work in your kitchen, in your house. So, Shonali, as we wrap up this amazing, beautiful conversation, soulful conversation, is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you would like to share? Maybe the next phase of your healing journey with your beautiful girls? Anything that you would like to share before we wrap up?
Um, so I had joined Anandita with a completely different motive, and I still remember this dated back to sometime in June or July of 23, when I had said I had few infertility issues, and I had approached her. I was recommended uh, to Anandita by another healthcare functional medicine practitioner, that she would be the best fit for my problem. And she was very empathetic. That's something that I miss saying, that on my journey, I had come across a lot of other healthcare givers and practitioners who were not empathetic, who hardly even listened to me. And uh, she shared with me a few resources that helped me understand how because I had no idea about functional medicine, how would functional medicine support me. And I still remember who I was referred to. He told me that you can you can change your biological age, chronological age will stay the same. And I can tell you, I have I mean, in today's terms it's called biohacking, and that's what's happened with me. I feel I think when I had started off with, I would have been 39. Today I'm 42, and I've had the while I had not been able to solve that very complex issue with which I had approached her. I believe that it served me so many other things that uh, it gave me strength, courage, and of course it fueled my body as well. And I feel younger, more vibrant, obviously transformed. And while some may say what you set out for, you didn't achieve and you didn't solve, uh, I can openly tell you on a platform like this that could have never ever happened. I was running after, I think, I mean, having my body having been in fight and flight for so many years, donkeys years, I could not have procreated without assistance, and I would have probably needed a lot more assistance. And by the time I realized this, I realized that there was a lot of emotional clearance that needed, which whatever food you may add, nothing will work out if you're living under stress. So by then I realized that this was the way my body, learned to. I wasn't stress resilient. That was my. So I have to still work my way through, and it was getting too late. And the desire and to have a second child and the void in our lives was just way too much. But at that age, one would think that having another child would mean that you're going back to ground zero and starting the whole process once again. It meant another 15 to 16 years of good health, being on your toes. Um, but I took that step, and today I have a little girl in my life. We brought her home when she was 7 months. Today she's 11 months, and I can proudly say that the last 4 months has been nothing short of a roller coaster. We often pray to God for strength, and God just doesn't give you strength from somewhere. The first month I brought my daughter home, the amount of struggles and obstacles that all came my way, I don't believe I came out of that. The first month, and it was the toughest month, and I stood through it without any health problems. I didn't crumble. It's because I had followed all those protocols, the tools, mind you, through all of that, handling two babies, two children, 10 years apart. I had three aging parents at home and the whole family to, take together. Despite, and there was a health crisis at home with one of my parents. Through all of that, I think if I had not invested in all of this, I don't think my body would have been able to take me through all of this. Forget about my body. I think even mentally I would have crumbled. So I'm proud of where I am today, 4 months later. Yes, there have been a few bad days, but those bad days have taught me what I should not be doing. So I've slowed down. The bad days, the not so good days, I'd not call them bad days. The not so good days teach me that I need to up my self care. This is something most women, I think, on Anantita's page, her blogs, she talks a lot about self care. And then when you read it, you like, what is, why should I, why should I step out of home? Why should I journal? Why should I do gratitude journaling? Why should I just take a pause out with a cup of tea or pause a few seconds? How does it matter? It does matter. It's just so valuable. And I can tell you that. And and on days when I don't feel nice, I pause, I slow down, I delete things from my plate that do not serve me any purpose, and then I feel good and I bounce back and I'm much more productive, much more vibrant. What most women do is they keep pushing through and I need to do this, but it's not that. Your child doesn't want you to be making cookies, cakes, granola, and all of that. She just wants you to be a present mother, to be listening to her, to be emotionally tuned into her. So that's what all of this. I mean, these are not things that come with a normal wellness package, or you have those uh, they claim to be holistic wellness packages. where they just show you that, you're healing your gut, but healing your gut is just not to do with your plate. It's much. And today I think I am that empowered mother. Uh, I don't think I would have been able to take the decision. A lot of people um, have actually scorned at our decision, given my age, that you have to give people at my age slow down. But I've added something onto my plate, and let me tell you, I'm even smiling at 2 in the morning. I mean, I'm not cribbing because of the lack of sleep. I'm smiling more than I was smiling than before. And I think she's added so much more joy, and I'm so happy for the step that I've taken. And I would not have been able to do if Anandita was not in my life. And the first time we brought baby home, my spouse kept telling me, my husband kept, you have to thank her. She's the first person you should be informing. You have to tell her of this because had it not been for um, the magic wand that she has used in my life, I don't think I would have been able to take this decision, because I think it's a very huge decision. A lot of people told me, you'll be stepping into perimenopause. How will you handle the child? But it's just how much I wanted this. And the void was way too much. And when I have the physical energy and the mental energy, why not?
Yeah. And what a story that is, Shonali. All of it is amazing, but I think ending here, it's such an inspiring story, and it's so much. There's so much of courage in that story that you just shared. And I know the story, of course, because a lot of part of it we've done things together, and I've been honored to be, as I said, I've been honored to be part of that story, that journey. But I think this story will empower comes later. But I think first people need to have the hope that that things can get better. Because you've been trying so many of us are trying so many different things, and especially those who will listen to this, probably many of them or many of you are trying so many different things, and it's not working, right? And then it's we give up hope, right? I mean, you have tried going to different practitioners or maybe trying different modalities, but the story that you just shared, that it's not about, because the outcomes, as you said, the outcome was may not have been exactly how you envisioned, but it's so much, it's different, but it's still amazing. That's the thing, right? I mean, it's not any less amazing or any less hopeful or any less happy. And that's, I think, a big takeaway from what you just shared, that things may not exactly happen your way, and that's okay, because it happened in a much, different but maybe better way, actually.
Absolutely.
Right. And as you said, you get up at 2 a.m. in the morning and you're smiling. I mean, who does that unless you're happy with how things have happened and how you have been able to deal with it, cope with it, and ups and downs are part of of all our lives, whether we have a young baby or not. I mean, that's going to be part of our part and parcel. It's just that we need to be equipped to deal with it. So that courage, that when you were sharing the story, that bravery, that courage has, that resilience is now shining through, Shonali. So that's what I would like to say. Thank you so much for sharing your story with so much of honesty, authenticity. I think that also shone through. It's going to help so many women, especially who are listening to this. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me and sharing this story. I hope this touches many women who just stay stuck and just scared to make that change. So like I said before, the pain of staying where you are, if it exceeds the pain of changing, then you must change.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And on those last words, thank you once again, Shonali. Thank you for being with us today.
Mm.